Dan Snyder, this guy is a true legend. You gotta trust me on this one. Snyder bought the Washington Redskins in 1999 and spent the next 2 decades turning a historic franchise into a masterclass in how to alienate an entire planet. We aren't just talking about a bad win-loss record, though that was certainly there. We're talking about a guy who sued his own season ticket holders during the 2008 recession. Imagine being a fan since the 70s, losing your job and getting a legal summons from the team you love because you couldn't pay for your luxury seat. Real classy there, Dan. Then there was the workplace culture. Congressional investigations, yes, actual Congress, got involved. Between allegations of sexual harassment, a toxic atmosphere that would make a poison dart frog blush, and a decade-long refusal to change a team name that literally everyone else found problematic. Snyder became the ultimate NFL villain. He eventually sold the team for $6 billion in 2023, which is a lot of money to be paid to finally go away. Speaking of people who don't know when to go away, let's move from a guy who sued his fans to a guy who literally stole an entire city's heart in the middle of a snowstorm. Imagine waking up on a snowy March morning in 1984, grabbing your coffee and realizing your local NFL team, the Baltimore Colts, simply doesn't exist anymore. No, they didn't go bankrupt. They just left. Robert Irsay is the reason Baltimore fans still have trust issues. While the city was trying to use eminent domain to seize the team and keep them in town, Irsay pulled the ultimate stealth move. He hired 15 Mayflower moving trucks, loaded up the entire facility in the middle of the night, and drove them to Indianapolis. The fans didn't get a goodbye video. They didn't get a final game. They got empty lockers and tire tracks in the snow. Irsay was so famously difficult that his own mommy once called him a devil on earth in a Sports Illustrated interview. When your own mom is giving you a 0-star review, you know you've reached legendary levels of controversy. But if you think moving a team in secret is cold, wait until you meet the owner who treated his players with the same warmth as a budget airline, charging for oxygen. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a Super Bowl-winning franchise now, but in the late 70s and 80s, they were a poverty franchise. Mostly because owner Hugh Culverhouse treated every dollar like it was his last Horcrux. Culverhouse was so cheap, he reportedly charged players for the luxury of drinking orange juice at the facility. He refused to air condition the training rooms in the Florida heat. Sounds like someone familiar. Does Mr. Krabs ring a bell? Like, how does Bro do that to his own team for real? But his biggest screw-up was personal. He famously hated Heisman winner Bo Jackson. Culverhouse tricked Bo into taking a private jet trip that violated NCAA rules, which got Bo ruled ineligible for his senior baseball season. Bo told him, "If you draft me, I will never play for you." Culverhouse called his bluff, used the #1 overall pick on Bo, and Bo went to play professional baseball instead. Culverhouse literally threw away the best athlete on earth over a petty grudge. Grudges are one thing, but our next owner took controlling the room to a level that required a presidential pardon. Eddie D is a complicated figure. On one hand, he's the guy who built the 49ers dynasty of the 80s. He treated his players like royalty, buying them expensive gifts and paying for luxury travel. He was the players' owner. But on the other hand, Eddie had a bit of a business problem. In 1998, he got caught up in a corruption scandal involving the governor of Louisiana. Apparently, Eddie paid $400,000 in cash to get a riverboat gambling license. When the FBI came knocking, Eddie pleaded guilty to failing to report a felony. I guess it's really hard to just stick to being an owner. $400,000 cash is insane. The NFL suspended him, and he eventually had to cede control of the team to his sister. He's the only owner on this list who is a Hall of Famer, and someone who was legally barred from his own building for a while. Talk about a high-risk, high-reward lifestyle. Eddie played for high stakes, but the next man on our list played for stakes that involved the literal social fabric of the United States. If you want to find the most controversial figure in the history of NFL ownership, Look no further than George Preston Marshall. He was the founder of the Washington franchise, and he was, to put it lightly, the league's biggest hurdle to progress. In 1962, every single team in the NFL had integrated, except for Washington. Marshall refused to sign black players, claiming he wanted to keep the Southern market. This guy really left a lot on the table for doing that. He only integrated after the Kennedy administration literally threatened to evict the team from their federally owned stadium. Marshall was a marketing genius, but he used that genius to hold the league back for decades. When your legacy is being the last guy to do the right thing, you've earned your spot on the controversy Mount Rushmore. From social battles to legal ones, let's look at the owner who turned the entire city of St. Louis into one big courtroom drama. Stan Kroenke is a billionaire's billionaire. He's married to a Walmart heiress, owns half the sports teams on the planet, and has the personality of a very wealthy stone. In 2016, he decided the St. Louis Rams were economically non-viable and moved them to Los Angeles. Typical rich NFL owners, am I right? Now, teams move all the time, but Kroenke did it by essentially trashing the city of St. Louis in his relocation application. He told the league that St. Louis was a dying town that couldn't support an NFL team, despite the fans showing up for decades of mediocre football. St. Louis sued, and they didn't just sue, they won. The NFL and Kroenke ended up paying a massive $790 million settlement to the city. Kroenke got his shiny new stadium in LA, but he had to pay nearly $1 billion just for the privilege of breaking a city's heart. Breaking hearts is one thing, but breaking the rules of professional etiquette is Jerry Jones's full-time job. Jerry Jones isn't just an owner. He's a brand, a general manager, a TV star, and a professional Roger Goodell-anoyer. You got to admit, this guy will never disappoint you on what he does to the Cowboys every year. Since buying the Cowboys in 1989, Jerry has been the loudest voice in the room. His controversies are too many to list. He fired the legendary Tom Landry, at a Mexican restaurant no less. He's been caught in compromising photos with strippers. He's gone to war with the commissioner over player suspensions. He's even been sued by a woman claiming to be his secret daughter. But Jerry's real controversy is his ego. He is so determined to be the architect of a Super Bowl team that he's arguably stood in his own way for nearly 30 years. He's the only owner who makes the pregame show about him instead of the guys actually playing. Jerry loves the spotlight, but our next owner on the list is a man who loves guitars, rock and roll, and getting in trouble with the law. Jim Irsay inherited the Colts from his father, Robert. Remember the Mayflower trucks? And while Jim is much more beloved by fans, he's had his share of, did he really just do that? Moments. Irsay is a billionaire who tweets like a teenager at 3 a.m. He spends millions on historical artifacts, like Kurt Cobain's guitar or the original scroll of On the Road. But he also has a very public and very dark history with substance abuse. In 2014, he was arrested with $29,000 in cash and a laundry list of prescription pills in his car. He's outspoken, he's eccentric, and he's the first owner to ever publicly call for Dan Snyder to be kicked out of the league. Irsay is the wild card of the NFL. You never know if he's going to donate $1 million to charity or start a Twitter feud with an all-pro running back over a contract dispute.